Welcome back to Investing and Trading Live, sponsored by Trading Academy. As always, I am your host, Josh Littlequist. On the last segment, we covered some topics really about the conditioning and the 401k problems that a lot of people are seeing and maybe haven't even seen yet because they've been given a dream. They've been told a dream that you're going to have this at retirement time and all these nice graphs that they show you, colorful graphs and all these cool names on all these funds that are going to get you to the promised land. And we all know, and people are finding out, that is not getting people to their retirement goals. So you have to do things a little bit differently. You have to identify where the institutions are buying and selling, be in the market when they're in the market, be out of the market when they're not in the market. So that way you have smart investing decisions, but also increasing your odds and probabilities with those retirement accounts. And we had a lot of people texting in for that free trading and investing class about the financial markets as far as retirement accounts, 401ks, IRAs, and how to make smart decisions within those. To come into one of these classes, just text the word investing to the number 210-210. When you do that, you're going to get a text right back. There's going to be a link within that text. It'll say, thanks for listening to the show, and you'll have a link. You can pick your own date when you click that link. That goes straight to our landing page. We have these classes during the week and on the weekends, so basically anybody can attend. Text the word investing to the number 210-210 for 2 seats for a free trading and investing class, especially on those retirement accounts. So Al, on this segment here, I think it's important to really continue that discussion about the conditioning of what's happening with people's monies over their lifetime. But if people don't have enough to retire on, there are other challenges that they're having because of that. First off, it takes extra income to build wealth.
Correct.
And so what that means is you have to have enough to, obviously everybody wants to have some fun. You got to have some fun first. And notice I said that first. And then everybody has those pesky bills. I mean, everybody's got them. There's nothing you can do to get around them. That's just the way of life. Well, if you don't have enough to pay those, or that's all you have, how does you plan on saving? Because you have to save then, so some extra income that's saved, that goes into your investing bucket. Now, the best way to do that is to actually get started. And really to get started is really having multiple streams of income.
Correct.
So that way you don't have just one job, one job that pays your bills, has some fun, maybe saves a little bit. Imagine if you had an opportunity for that income strategy, a second one, or maybe a third one. What would that look like for you? What would that look like if you had multiple streams and that was starting to build a retirement account? That's the difference between having enough and not having enough. And it's really having a shot, because people want to be able to get to those retirement goals at retirement time. But if you're continuing doing the same things over and over and over, and you know that it's not going to get you there, well, then it is your fault. But it's not now until you find out. Al, what are some of the things that we can do as the public? What can we do to increase our odds, our probabilities, to have multiple income strategies in our life, to actually have the opportunity to build wealth?
Yeah, that's a good topic, extra income, because all of the truly successful people financially in this country have multiple sources of income. It may be 3 or 4 or 5 different sources of income, and that does not mean additional jobs. And unfortunately, we see a lot of people coming in that work sometimes 3 jobs just to try to make the ends meet. The cost of living has just gone up significantly over the last few years, and people think, well, but inflation's coming down now. Well, the growth of inflation is coming down, but the high prices aren't necessarily coming down. Once those high prices have been hit, that kind of becomes the norm. So the need for additional income is really critical. It's not only critical just to pay your bills now, because as we often say, being alive is not free. There's a cost there. But if you don't have enough income after your bills are paid and you have some fun, you need to have some fun in life. If you don't have enough left over after that to put into your income bucket or your wealth portfolio, I should say, that wealth portfolio either doesn't exist or there's not enough there when you retire. And think about this, the income that you have been using to basically fund your life right now is gone when you retire. So
So what do the markets bring as an opportunity?
yeah, there's several things that you can do because there's a different way of approaching the markets for income than there is for wealth, and there's a different way of identifying the positions. Uh, Things like options, futures, the foreign exchange market, those are things that really are perfect for people that are looking for short-term income. And when you're looking for additional income, it has to be something that you can achieve on a short-term basis. It's not typically, if you go into an advisor, they put you into something that is buy and hold long term. You're in this for the long term. Well, that's great for maybe for some of your things for down the road, 10, 20, 30 years from now. But what do you do now? If you have the need for extra money now, you have to be able to access it short term. Futures, Forex, options can be used as short term trading vehicles. Not only do they give you the opportunity to generate additional income, but they also allow you to do that using less money with the potential for greater returns. That sounds like a pretty good combination.
Mm-hmm.
So they use leverage. That's how you achieve that, which means that you can have a small account that controls something that's much bigger than whatever the size of the account is. Each dollar can control something that could be worth 10, 20, 50, 100 times more than that dollar.
So people are probably thinking now, well, that's super risky. Well,
Sounds like magic.
yeah, right. But you have to minimize that risk, and we train and teach you how to do that because institutions are doing it, and we have the same ability to do that as well.
Absolutely. And the other thing is that these leveraged assets, the income assets, can be used not just in up markets, but in down markets. And when you think about it, I mentioned Goldman Sachs before, how they had 236 profitable trading days. That's their trading. That's what their traders are getting. But every day this last year was not an up day, yet they still made money. In fact, one of the biggest up days that they had was back in 2018. The Dow was down over 1,000 points, which, that's 6 years ago. That was a huge amount back 6 years ago, and they made $200 million that day. So how do they do that? Well, they know how to benefit in a down market. Back in the year 2000, when we went through the dot-com bubble crash, the S&P was down 50%. In 2007 to 2009, the real estate bubble burst. The S&P was down over 57%. NASDAQ down 60, 70%. Not everybody lost money. The institutions sometimes had some of their best years during those time periods. So if they can do that, they're not using anything different than you can use. They're just not teaching you how to do it. Nobody is. I mean, very few places are teaching you how to do it. You may be able to read something online or maybe look at something on YouTube that gives you a little introduction to it or maybe some knowledge on those things. But there's a difference between having knowledge and actually using that knowledge to your benefit.
Yep.
That's what we do. We give you the knowledge, but we also help you build the skills to be able to use that knowledge because there's a right time to use it and there's a time to not do anything.
Yeah, and you're for listening right now and you're wondering, well, how did they profit as the market went down? Well, there's actually strategies to profit as the market goes down. It's called shorting, and we have the same ability to do that. It's just a button on a platform. You just click it. Hey, I want to short the market. You short the market and you profit as it goes down. All those strategies and techniques that they do are available to us, and we actually have an advantage because we have smaller accounts compared to the banks and institutions. And I was actually having an interesting conversation with a good friend the other day, and they were talking about, hey, I just don't think I'm going to have enough to retire. I got a little bit started, but we know that's not going to be enough. And gosh, I hope they do something about it. Which I don't know who they was, but I think we can probably guess who they is. I hope they do something about it. And I said, the good thing about what we do and as people is rather than relying on somebody to do it for you, which, whoever they is, they're not going to do it for you. I said, you can do this yourself. I said, you can learn the skills of trading and investing to do this yourself. You have the opportunities to have extra income strategies, but it takes that first step. Sometimes that first step is hard to do. And he says, well, I don't know anything about that. I don't know what this is. And then I said, okay, well, I would agree with you. If you don't know, I understand. But think about it this way. Just think a little bit different. Everything you have ever done in your life, at one point, you didn't know how to do it.
That's right.
And that's what I want to inspire people to do. Inspire people to come into these free trading and investing classes and learn about it. See what it's all about. If your finances are important to you, if it's maybe leaving a legacy for your kids or your grandkids, other family, charity, whatever that may be, if that's important to you, it might be advantageous to find out what you can do differently. Come into one of these free trading and investing classes and check it out and see if it's even for you. Text the word investing to the number 210-210 for 2 seats for a free trading and investing class, or go to tradingacademy.com and pick your own seats there. Al, we got another one to go. We got a lot more to discuss. I feel like these shows go by so fast. Stay tuned. This is Josh and Al, Investing and Trading Live. We will be right back.
Oh, wait. Let me just grab some real quick. Right
Okay.
now.
We will continue live, Al, on the YouTube, in case you're wondering. Well, we're going to go. Any special topic you want to talk about today? We'll make it up. Let's go back to the market update, overall markets. Okay. Sound good?
Yeah. Do we want to talk at all about what the potential for the market moves this coming year? What's going to happen? Is it going to be up? Is it going to be down? I mean, there are things that we can talk about, like the Buffett indicator, the Shiller PE ratio. And then also
I wouldn't get
what's
too technical, but yeah.
no, but yeah, I mean, I can keep it simple with those two.
Okay.
Um,
Yep. Okay. Sounds good. Here we go. Welcome back to Investing and Trading Live, sponsored by Trading Academy. In the last segment, we covered the income strategies. How to actually build wealth is by having multiple streams of income. Not just one job or many jobs, multiple streams of income where your money works for you. And just like anything in our everyday life, at one point you didn't know how to do something. But you didn't know until you learned.
correct. Yeah,
Nothing
you
is-
didn't know how to walk when you were born.
Correct. Nothing is different in the financial markets. And don't be afraid of them. The market is a great opportunity. And if you don't know how to do it, that's why we have these free trading and investing classes to introduce you to these techniques and concepts that we've been talking about on the show here today, the do's and the don'ts of the markets, income strategies, 401k, IRA strategies. And if you want to learn more about those, just text the word investing to the number 210-210 for a free trading and investing class near you. We have these classes during the week, the weekends. We have them in the evenings, all across the metro. We're right here in Bloomington. That's where we would record the radio program, right in our studio, right in the center here. We have locations in Wayzata, Bloomington, Maple Grove, Woodbury, Edina. We're all across the metro helping people just by coming to your neighborhood and helping you get started with these financial markets and finding out what you don't know. Well, once you come in, now you know. So, Al, in this next segment here, I kind of want to backtrack a little bit because we did a little bit of a market update on the first segment here today. And I never really got your opinion as far as what you think might happen, some of the data that's out there as far as what are some potential moves in the markets. Because if you look at a price chart, because that doesn't lie, you look at the overall market. It's gangbusters. It's to the upside. It's been doing that for quite some time here, and you're seeing a little bit of adjustment with the Dow Jones though. So is that leading everything? I don't know. It's hard to say. Supply and demand will tell us because we have an area of demand actually a little bit lower that potentially it could pop from. So with that, not every stock is gangbusters.
Correct.
Right? I saw a headline the other day, and it said something about NVIDIA being in potential correction territory.
It is, right.
So what do I do? Okay, well, let's go look at a price chart and see where is NVIDIA. So NVIDIA at one point was at about $153 per share, 152 something, almost 153. Well, as of the recording of the show here, we're below 130, so 120 something. So that stock is actually down over the past less than a month, about 16%, which is a pretty decent drop, I would say. And that's one of those high flyers that has been rocking the market to the upside. Well, on that flip side, you have Apple, just it's like a rocket ship. Keeps going up, 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 and up. Over 250 per share. Tesla, same story, 470 something. Actually, over 480 per share. So that one is looking great. Meta, the same thing. So you have a couple going up, a couple going down. Amazon is also going up. 3M has been sideways for quite some time. Some other major stocks, we'll say GE, not looking very good either.
Yeah.
GE over the past couple months is also down about 16%. That's a big stock. Target almost went back down to that 110 area that we've been talking about for probably about a year now. Down about right now, it's down about 27% from the high back in March of 2024. So not every stock is up, not every stock is down. There's a mixture there. So that's why you need strategies for up markets and for those down markets. So what are some of the leading things that you're seeing out there, Al, that could potentially tell us what could happen, but it really doesn't matter if we're prepared?
Well, you mentioned NVIDIA. Everybody thought NVIDIA was heading for the moon, that you could buy as many shares of NVIDIA at any price you wanted to and you do great. And now it's pulling back. It was just simply overvalued. A lot of these companies have huge, highly overvalued price levels, and the market always, and individual assets always seem to want to get back to true valuation, more of a normal valuation. So that's just part of the life in the market. What we're seeing with the stocks you just mentioned that are doing well and those that aren't is an interest more in growth right now than value, and that very well could change. Let's talk about what could happen this year. I think, and again, this is my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. But I think this is going to be a phenomenal year for traders, people that know how to take advantage of moves up and down. And I think we're going to see both for a number of reasons. Number one, with the new administration, we now have an administration that's really pro-business, pro-old economy, anti-regulation, low taxes. Those are all good things for the stock market. But is the market overvalued, and can it and will it pull back? Well, a couple of the indicators that we look at, there's something called the Buffett indicator, where you look at the total value of the U.S. stock market divided by GDP, our gross domestic product. Right now, that's over 208%. In other words, the market, overall value of the market is 208% over the gross domestic product. We call it the Buffett indicator because Warren Buffett looks at that as one of the most true valuations of the market. Typically, if it gets over 90, he pulls back. And Warren Buffett is holding a huge cash position right now. It has only been this high a few times in history, even back in 2000 when we had the dot-com crash, it wasn't this high. In 2022, when we had the last kind of bear market, it wasn't this high. So this is really high, showing that the market is overvalued. The other one is called the Shiller price to earnings index, or we call it the cap rate index. That's where he's looking at price to earnings adjusted for inflation over a time period. That's as high as it has been since we went into the Depression in 1929 and the dot-com bubble crash in 2000. So those are two indicators that a lot of the pros out there look at that could indicate that we've got a correction coming. We've seen a correction kind of in the Dow right now. Nvidia is going through correction. The point I'm making here is that you've got things that are really positive for the market and some things that are negative for the market at the value it's at right now. What's the opportunity there? Well, if the Shiller cap rate and the Buffett indicator are accurate and the follow-up to those indicators is a correction in the market, that's a great opportunity for you to benefit on the downside. And then I think overall we're going to have that pro-business economy that is going to help us come back out of that correction very quickly. So, and then those are my opinions, just kind of based on things that I see happening. But what it points to is that this is a market, this is a year, 2025, for people that are traders, people that are able to, as accurately as possible, identify where the big institutions are going to be buying and where they're going to be selling. And the great thing is that they're doing all the work. They're putting all the money into it. All we have to do is just follow what they're doing, let them do the work, and then just concentrate on what's important. Not all the opinions that are out there, but what is factually happening, and that all gets down to price.
And let's call that the year of opportunity coming up.
Yeah, it's what it is.
And the great thing is, Al was going through some different things, different terms and stuff like that. You don't need to understand that at this point. You don't need to know that. What you do need to know is what are the opportunities, but then where do you find that? Where do you find the actual opportunities, which is supply and demand on a price chart? And we illustrate that to you in these free trading and investing classes that I know a lot of you are coming into, is how to read a price chart, how to identify if there's more demand. Well, if there's more demand for anything, a bottle of water, a home, a car, a pair of shoes, if there's a whole bunch of demand for that, well, we know that price is going to go up. It's going to find more willing buyers. Same thing when it's too expensive. If there's a lot of supply for anything, homes, cars, shoes, water bottle, well, we know price will come down. And that is the same thing with the financial markets. Where we identify that is on a price chart. And that's what we'll illustrate to you in these free trading and investing classes that we do right here at the Academy and our other locations across the metro area. I'm going to give away one last set of tickets for this free trading and investing class. So if you're driving, you might want to pull over. Just text the word investing to the number 210, and that's for 2 seats for a free trading and investing class. When you do that, you're going to get a text right back. There'll be a link to our landing page in there, and you can pick your own date and time there. We have these all across the metro. It's going to be the new year pretty soon. Let's start the new year off with a bang. Let's start with new strategies, new opportunities, and maybe a new you, especially financially. Text the word investing to the number 210, or go to tradingacademy.com. Al, we've had a lot of great discussion here today. I think, with the year of opportunity coming up, I think our listeners are understanding now is the time to take action. Let's hear today's OTA tip of the week.
Well, we've been talking a lot about extra income, how that's important. So just remember, your job controls your salary. It doesn't control your income. You control your income. Your 9 to 5, your job is someone else's passive income. So why not find ways of making money for yourself? No one cares about you more than you do. So go out and create your own changes. You shouldn't take advice, by the way, from people who aren't where you want to be. So if you find someone smarter than you, work with them. Don't compete. We can provide those people for you. Remember, keep your standards high, keep your goals alive, and just don't settle for something because it's available.
I like that. There was a comment there I just wanted to alter a little bit. You said, no one cares more about your money than you do. I would say your kids probably do.
Yeah, they're right up there.
But you know what? Why have somebody else manage your future? Why have somebody else, a stranger, dictate your financial future? Take control. Take control of your finances. Get that in order. Do that now before the end of the year by coming into one of these free trading and investing classes. Just text the word investing to the number 210-210 for 2 seats for a free trading and investing class. You know what? The one thing about Trading Academy is you're able to invest differently, smarter, skillfully. As always, same time, same place next week. Until then, retire young, my friends.